Hello folks, today's lesson is going to be from the Write Your First 300 Words Today micro course. So I'm going to hop in there through the classroom and there's just a welcome page, but we're going to go to module 1. We're just going to talk about, especially if you're struggling with writer's block, the real reason that you don't write. And most people think the problem is I don't have enough time, my idea isn't ready, or I need to be in the right mood. Wrong. The problem is fear, and that's what I'm expressing in this module. Keep in mind that this micro course does lead into an entire course called Smash Writer's Block that'll have much more detailed information, but these are little bite-sized micro course lessons, and it's all about motivating you to get over what the real problem is, which is fear. And we like to think that professionals don't deal with fear, that you somehow get over it before you become an author. It's not true. I struggle and deal with this every day while I'm working. I don't have so much of an issue with writer's block as I do with the fear that what I'm writing is not going to be liked by people. And so that gives me a lot of hesitation, and I go into every new project with a huge heightened level of anxiety. And I want you to know, if you're experiencing that, it's normal, and there's ways to cope with it, and there's ways to get through it, and there's ways to overcome that feeling so that you can actually get things done. And the reason you feel that fear is that writing exposes you, your ideas, your talent, your voice, your potential failure. And that potential failure, that fear is always there. It's just a matter of working around it, recognizing it as part of the creative process. So your brain convinces you if you don't take this risk, because our brains are programmed that way. You know, a couple hundred years ago, risk was bad. Risk meant life and death, and your brain is still wired that way. A couple hundred years ago, you didn't try and jump across a chasm on your horse because you might not make it. That was too much of a risk. You didn't uh, run into a dark cave without a lantern and a weapon in case there was a bear in there. That was life and death. And so your brain recognizes risk as life and death, except in the modern world and in modern life, not all risk is life and death. And your brain doesn't know how to sort that out and rank it. It just sees risk. Oh, risk, don't do it. You're going to die. So that's why we get so overwhelmed with anxiety and fear about our own work. But at the end of the day, and I saw a great quote yesterday actually from someone who might be watching this video soon. Um, the great quote he posted on Facebook was, "Every time someone doesn't like me, I check my pay stub to see if it made a difference." And I want to encourage you guys to sort of take that on as well. Um, so another, that's an example of why you shouldn't fear uh, risking sharing your work, why you shouldn't even fear failure in your creative work, because anything that isn't a tremendous success is a valuable learning experience. And in fact, a lot of times your failures are more valuable than your successes for learning and knowing what to do next time. So your brain tries to protect you, makes you freeze, and it's not a block. It's not writer's block. It's a defense mechanism. But the loudest is before you start. And once you start going, once you start building momentum, you can get over that very quickly, and you can start to build a practice where you can accept your anxiety, you can accept your fear, but it doesn't stop you from producing work. And that once you build momentum, that voice and that fear, that gets much, much quieter because you know you're doing the thing, and nothing feels as good as actually finishing. So you can't get to that finish if you don't build that momentum, and that's what this course, Write Your First 300 Words Today, is about. It's free, and you can access it through progressing through the levels uh, based on activity in the Creative Illuminati. And it is on level 5. So If you can make it to level 5, you can get right through that. Now, maybe for the holidays, we're going to find that maybe some of these are going to get a little bit easier to access, but I want to make sure that you know this is what's waiting for you in the classroom, regardless of when you get there, how you get there, that for free you can take this quick and easy micro course. Write your first 300 words today, and if you're struggling with writing a book or writing a movie or writing a video game or writing your memoir or anything, that this is going to give you a whole set of small bite-sized lessons that you can work through to get past your writer's block and your creative fear and get on with producing your amazing content.